Hello, and welcome to B2B Topics and Tips, bringing you the latest buzz about small business topics, tips, and expert interviews. Watch live or watch later. Drop any questions, comments, thoughts into the comments, and we will both be checking because I have a guest on tap for today. If you want to use hashtag replay, if you're watching it later with your question or comment or thought, please do so. But hi, I'm Melissa St. Clair, Communications and Standard Operating Procedures Specialist with Paper Chaser Biz LLC, a certified military spouse-owned enterprise. And today, my guest is Jackie Parker, the Barefoot boss at Barefoot Design Collective. Jackie is a certified virtual expert in my virtual assistant community, and I have had the honor to be on her show, Triple Threat with Triple Trouble, a show that she shares with two other colleagues. And another fun fact about Jackie is she also came up with the winning name of my online standard operating procedure course. So thank you, Jackie. And with that, I am pleased to introduce Jackie. If you want to say hey, and then I will read your official bio so I do not get anything wrong. But welcome.
Thank you, Melissa. We had such a good time when you joined us on Triple Trouble, and we are definitely willing and ready to have you back.
Yay, awesome.
It's always so much fun to chat with you. And the fact that you picked, or that I picked the winning name, I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It just says what it is and says it right. So thank you so much. So let me tell you a little bit more about Jackie Parker. You need branding, marketing, and a website that will breathe your vibe. As the Barefoot boss at Barefoot Design Collective, Jackie's passion is making your passion possible. She loves helping entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors with their websites and branding so that they can connect with their ideal client faster, earn money easier, and actually do what makes their heart sing instead of worrying about their website. She is located in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, and works with English-speaking clients throughout North America. Today, we are talking about the top 3 website mistakes to avoid. Jackie, mistake number 1.
Oh my gosh. So this is just a small list. There are quite a few mistakes that people make, but we don't have time for that today. So mistake number 1, your website isn't mobile friendly. Now, what does that mean? That means when you get on your phone, sometimes you'll see the text goes off the edge of the phone, or the images are proper or are just sized wrong, or the text is too small, buttons too close together. When you design a website for desktop, you have all this landscape to work with, but when you go down to a phone, it can be a challenge. And you want to make sure that, everything flows together, that the picture, when you're looking at it side by side on a desktop, it makes sense. But sometimes on the phone, if the picture is below the content or vice versa, it doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that it's mobile friendly.
That is huge, because I bet there are some really great stats out there, how many people are looking first at their phone versus their laptop because they are on the move all the time.
Yes. You don't hardly ever go out now without seeing somebody staring at their phone while they're walking, or hopefully not driving.
Hopefully not driving or biking.
It's definitely over 50. I think it's like 54% the last time I looked, but it's huge. And one thing to keep in mind is, and kind of like I mentioned, just because it's mobile friendly, if it all fits in the borders, does not necessarily mean it's user friendly. So keep that in mind.
Good tips. Okay, mistake number 2, drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Unclear messaging. You have about 5 seconds to grab your audience's attention. Your hero image, that first section above the fold of your website, needs to tell your visitors 3 things: who you are, what you do, and the problem you solve for them. If you can't capture that in 5 minutes or 5 seconds, they're gone. They'll bounce off to another site.
Oh my goodness. Our attention spans are just nil, right?
They are. Yep. And you only have so much brain space. I don't want to have to think about, well, what is this person? What am I doing on this site? So definitely keep that in mind. And a bonus about messaging, your about page is not about you.
Oh, this is a biggie. I am all ears.
So it's really about what you can do for your client. So I'm a huge fan of Donald Miller and the story brand method. And you want to be the guide for your customer. You don't want to be their hero. You want to be the guide so that they can be the hero to their own story. So your about page should talk about, you a little bit, but it needs to be about that problem that you can solve for your client.
Wow. I don't think I had really ever heard anyone say that. So you are pioneering this paradigm shift. I love it.
It's huge. It's huge.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now that you have wowed everyone with that, mistake number 3.
Slow site speed. Melissa, tell me, how many times have you either closed your browser or moved on to a different website because it took so long for a page to load?
Oh, yes.
A lot.
Like dial up. Not
oh
good.
My gosh. I hear it in my head. Can you hear it? I can hear it in my head. That it ages me a little bit, doesn't it? But yes. So again, back to that 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to grab their attention. And the same goes with your slow website. There are a few ways that you can remedy this. One thing I see so much is people just uploading raw images, super huge images to their website. I think WordPress will allow up to 5 megabytes, but there's no reason for you to have that large of a file on your website. One of my favorite, and we'll share these later, but one of my favorite tools online is Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com.
Okay.
So I'll take the images. Usually a header image is like 1920 wide by, the height can be different, like 1280. So you can go out there, you take an image that you found that, you have the license to use, and you go out to Pixlr and you can edit that image, crop it to the size. And then when you go to save it, you can reduce the quality of that image. It's low, medium, or high. I've gone as low as 20% on some images, especially if it's just a background image. It doesn't need to be super clear. And a lot of times you can hardly tell the difference between the two. Wow. With the naked eye, So that's huge. Another thing is removing unused themes and plugins. So that can slow down your site, but it also can be a security and performance issues. If you have plugins on your website that haven't been updated in months, you might want to look for an alternative, because that means that they're not keeping up with the WordPress upgrades, and it could be a security issue. So definitely keep that in mind.
And I think that WordPress does a pretty good job of kind of telling you those things, like this about your plugins and
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
You definitely need to be updating your website plugins and themes on a regular basis. So then one more tip to about slow site speed is ditch the low budget hosting. We all know they're out there. You get these super cheap deals and it's shared hosting. Well, shared hosting environments is just that. It's shared hosting. So you're sharing, think of your bedroom, right? You're sharing your bedroom with like 20 other people. Wow. And there's only so much room. So yes, there's a benefit if you're looking to save money, but there's a payoff. You're going to have the slow site speed. I recently switched my site from one hosting provider to SiteGround, and my site speed immediately, same website, all I did was migrate it over, and it was just a huge difference.
Wow.
So definitely keep that in mind.
And if all of this is making your head spin, contact Jackie, because it's her language. So if it's not yours, be sure to buzz on over and connect with Jackie. And so site speed, Are there tools that you can check your site speed?
There are. One that I use is gtmetrics.com, gtmetrix.com. And you plop your URL in there and it'll run some tests and tell you it'll grade you from an A to an F. And there are plugins that you can use to optimize your site, to speed it up. But again, going through and looking at these three things is going to make a big difference.
Wow.
And if you don't want to deal with it, like Melissa said, reach out to me, because it's what I do and I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So many golden nuggets out of those three mistakes. Just listen, hit rewind, replay, and listen over again. We'll be sure to drop those extra resources into the comments. So now we're at the business tips part. So Jackie, will you please share your best business tips with our viewers?
I think the first one, and I learned this after a couple different times of being in business for myself, time is money. Don't waste your time trying to do things that isn't necessarily your cup of tea. You could spend a lot of time trying to build your own website, to DIY it, but is that really a good use of your time? Like hours. Melissa, did you build your first website?
I did, and it was not my wheelhouse, and it did not represent me well. And finally, after 5 years, I got smart and I said, someone else, that expert, please take it over. Yes.
Yep. And that's exactly it. You're saving that money, but your time could be much better spent doing what you do, what makes your heart sing, connecting with clients and potential clients. Let someone like me handle the tech and build your site. Social media, if that's not your thing, let somebody else do it for you, because in the long run, this kind of rolls into one of my other top tips.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Marketing is not an expense. It's an investment.
Oh,
so
I love that.
Back to that, don't waste your time. It's not an expense, it's an investment in your business.
That is so smart. The paradigms are shifting today. I love it. And any last tip?
So probably the biggest one, and it took me a really long time to embrace it, because I was like, I'm not really shy, but I was hesitant. And I resisted quite a bit to my coach, Jennifer, saying, you need to be networking. You need to be networking. It was like a recurring theme. Jackie, you need to be networking. And I resisted for so long, but now that I'm doing it, I love it. I'm enjoying connecting with people, and, being able to help others build their business is kind of what I enjoy, about what I'm doing. So, and that's what networking is about. You're not just out there looking to sell. It's about, how can I help you? How can I help you build your business? So
love it. Love it. Love it.
Networking is where it's at.
Be sure to get in touch with Jackie for a virtual cup of coffee then. Yes. So this is a great segue. How can people connect with you?
Well, you can find me most of the time on LinkedIn. That's where I spend the majority of my time, because I am a B2B provider, business to business. So it makes sense for me to spend most of my time on LinkedIn. But I do also have a Facebook and Instagram presence. And Barefoot Design Collective is where you'll find me on those. And our website is barefootdc.com.
Okay.
And if you want to send me an email, it's just Jackie@barefootdc.com.
Awesome. And we will drop all of those links into the post, into the comments. So Jackie, do you have a freebie or an offer for our viewers?
I do. And it's amazing. It goes right along with this presentation. It is, it's my website health assessment. And it's a checklist that will take you through all of the things to help optimize and make sure that your site is up to par.
Awesome.
It's pretty comprehensive. You'll get some emails that go along with it, that kind of walk you through, offering some additional tips, answering questions, stuff like that. So, but it's definitely valuable.
It sounds like it. Now, I come from a medical background. So
Mhm.
when you said like the Barefoot DC, now I'm thinking she's like a doctor of computers to me. They're checking the health, right? Sorry.
I like it. I like it.
Your DC. Oh my goodness. Well, Jackie, I have loved having you on B2B topics and tips today. Thank you so much. Any last comments for our viewers? Otherwise, we will say farewell.
No, this has been so much fun, Melissa. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.